Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for UFC 199, Rockhold versus Bisping for the UFC Middleweight Championship. And the co-main event was for the UFC Bantamweight Championship, Dominic Cruz defending his belt against Uriah Faber. Yeah, so I was at this event, and I have a lot of stories to tell you guys and share with you guys. It was amazing. I had the time of my life. I was at the weigh-ins. I was at the fights. I was at some of the pre-fights activities. I was at some of the post-fight stuff. And it was just, oh man, I had the time of my life. I got to meet Tony Ferguson, to Robbie Lawler, and you name it. So I'll show you guys some of those pictures. Yeah, I'll be showing those pictures on my Facebook page. I'll be uploading Nate Craig on Facebook. But nonetheless, I'll save all my stories for a separate episode, and I'll just do a post-fight for this main card that I was at, and it was amazing. So let me just, I'll be right back. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is just a post-fight rundown of the main card, who won, who lost, and was I correct? So to kick off the main card, we had Dustin the Diamond Poirier versus Bobby Green. Bobby Green, who I met, by the way, nice guy. Dustin Poirier won first round KO punches. This was a stand-up war, and it was just the speed and the quickness of Dustin and his knockout power. And I just knew that, you know, Dustin Poirier is still pretty young. He's a well-experienced veteran. He's fought top guys, and that would play a huge factor against a guy like Bobby Green. But I think Bobby Green will learn from this loss. He will come back bigger, better, stronger. He will probably win his next match or two easily. Yeah, Bobby Green's not going anywhere. He's a talent to be reckoned with in the lightweight division. So yeah, Dustin Poirier, since he went back up to lightweight, he's been on a tear, and it's hard to pick against him. So Dustin Poirier got the win, KO punches round 1 in the lightweight division to kick off this exciting main card. Then in the middleweight division, we had Dan Henderson versus Hector Lombard. Now this one I got wrong. I picked Hector Lombard by knockout first round, and it turned into second round knockout for Dan Henderson. The first round, Hector Lombard nearly knocked out Dan Henderson moments here and there. And then, yeah, Dan Henderson was able to bounce back, and he landed a clean shot, and it was KO. It was head kick and elbows. Yeah, KO, head kick and elbows. And Dan Henderson maybe will retire, maybe won't. We'll see down the future. But at the time of this recording, he's still active, so to speak. And yeah, it was a big win for Dan Henderson. And yeah, I was happy for Dan Henderson. Wow. Yeah, Hector Lombard, gave him his all. And then Dan Henderson was able to eat it and come back with a big win by knockout. So Dan Henderson, yeah, this was pretty much a brawl from the get-go, and Dan Henderson got it done. Second round knockout. Then in the featherweight division, we had Max Holloway versus Ricardo Lamas. Yeah, this one was unanimous decision, 30-27, and it was basically Max Holloway stuffing the takedowns of Ricardo Lamas, which I figured he would be able to do. And then he was able to tee off on Ricardo Lamas each and every round and use his height, his reach, his speed advantage, his age advantage, and just mop the floor with Ricardo Lamas. Yeah, Max Holloway, I think the sky's the limit for him. I say he's on such a big win streak right now. You can't deny him a title shot. You have to give Max Holloway the winner of the interim belt, or just he could wait if he wants, and if he doesn't get a title shot, then I say put him in #1 contender main event match on a fight night or Fox Sports, UFC on Fox or Fox Sports 1 card. Yeah, because Max Holloway's paid his dues. He needs a big money fight at this point. Either a big money fight with a title on the line or just a big money fight to tie him over till he fights for the belt. And then in the co-main event for the bantamweight title, we had Dominic Cruz defending against Uriah Faber, and this was a technical war. It was Faber trying to get some takedowns, Cruz stuffing the takedowns, and then able to just outpace and use footwork to dodge every heavy shot of Uriah Faber and pick him apart piece by piece. And it was for the most part a boxing fight, and Dominic Cruz got it done. He outpointed Uriah Faber. I think there's moments where Faber was almost out of the fight, but Faber's a warrior. He persevered through the tough battles, and yeah, Dominic Cruz was just the better fighter that day. And it was 50-45 across the board except one 49-46, which I don't see how Uriah Faber won any of the rounds. I don't know what that judge was thinking. Dominic Cruz won every round 10-9, clearly in my opinion. Yeah, so Dominic Cruz gets his first title defense since winning the belt back from TJ Dillashaw, and gets his big win and ends the trilogy on a high note against Uriah Faber, winning 2-1 in the trilogy. And Uriah Faber, hang in there, bro. He's another fighter I got to meet after the fights. Great guy, and I would like to see Uriah Faber learn from this loss and bounce back as much as he can. Yeah, then in the main event, we had the middleweight belt on the line. Luke Rockhold defending against Michael Bisping. And oh boy, we needed it was 3 minutes 36 seconds for Michael Bisping to do his thing. Yeah, Luke Rockhold overcommitted and leaned in, and then Bisping was able to get inside that reach that Rockhold had and start landing the heavy left hand and knockout. He drops Rockhold, then he tees off on him after he drops Rockhold. And then that's all she wrote. Michael Bisping is the new UFC middleweight champion of the world, and it was a great, exciting fight. I knew there would be a finish, but I did not know it would be on the side of Michael Bisping. Sorry, bro. Sorry I counted you out of this fight. But boy, am I eating my words on this one. Yeah, Michael Bisping did his thing, and I got to meet him after the fight. Great guy. I met him before. I met him at UFC 121, and yeah, he's a great guy. I'll share some of my stories in a separate episode. So that wraps up my post-fight show for UFC 199. Stay tuned for my next couple episodes, which will be my stories episode about my experiences, and then my pre-fight show coming up in the near future with Rory McDonald and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in a welterweight clash of the ages on UFC Fight Night. So I'll do a pre-fight of that, and then I'll do also a separate episode of my stories at 199. So until then, see ya.